Welcome to Sugar, Spice, and Spirits, where happy hour meets hustle, and the only thing stronger than our cocktails are our opinions. Get ready to laugh, learn, and maybe question a few life choices. Cheers to being a little smarter and a whole lot spicier. So grab your drink, kick back, and let's mix a little business with a whole lot of fun. Because around here, success is always on the menu.
Hey everybody, how are you? This is Kelly and I'm coming to you live from the beautiful island of Galveston. I am here with my two cohorts and we together are Sugar, Spice, and Spirits. So let me introduce them or have them introduce themselves.
Mindy Price.
Natalie Pilkington.
Hopefully by now you know who we are because you've been tuning in long enough. As you know, we always like to start off with our sip of the day and it is nice and toasty and hot outside today. It's about 98 degrees. We do have a nice breeze though. But as I said, we are going to start with our sip of the day. And today my choice is the old fashioned. It is made with a little bit of bourbon and some other nice little ingredients that you'll have to check out on our
old fashioned. Is that because you're the oldest?
It could be that. It could be that.
Is the episode today?
It actually, because it ties into our episode. More realistically, thank you very much, Miss Nasty. But I did want to let you know that our location is here in front of Simply Twisted, the original. And we got our bourbon from Simply Twisted 2, which is right down the street. So we want to
thank you.
Yes, want to thank you for offering us our free spirits for the day. So let's...
Can I take a second? Because I haven't been to Simply Twisted before. I went to Simply Twisted 1 today, and I went down to Simply Twisted 2. And they were both very cute and different. Like the items that they have and the things that's very unique and stuff that you can get. Like we have one of the outfits right here on a model too. So it was just really a nice store that you can get some great gifts from. So
yeah, quaint little boutique. It's not just clothes, it's jewelry, it's hats, it's Consuela purses. It's just a lot of really cool, fashionable
and dude
outfits.
Stuff too.
And there's stuff for the dudes.
And I'm out here because, and the reason we're here in Galveston, Natalie was vacationing with her family at Crystal Beach. And then I'm here for the Texas Apartment Association board meetings and was picking up a ring that I have bought because I purchase a lot of my jewelry here, or my husband gets me gifts from here. If you can see the sign that's back here, I'll take a picture and I'll plug it in. It says, your husband called and said, buy anything you want at Simply Twisted. Like super fun. But actually, Diamond was missing out of here. And I called Linda and I was like, hey, is there anything that we can do about it? She's like, absolutely, bring it back. And they sent it off and they took care of it. And so they're pretty amazing folks. So it's really cool. They sponsored our drinks and here we are.
Great customer service. So without any further ado, let's, it's a little melted now at this point, but that's okay. So cheers, ladies. Cheers.
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 She just went straight to drink.
She did. She's like, let's go.
Is it that kind of day?
It is that kind of day.
I agree.
Actually, it's a good day. And so they both had business here. I'm here just because I didn't want to be left out because I got left out of the Mexico trip, as you all know. So I wasn't going to let them leave me out this time. So as Natalie so eloquently put it, I am the oldest one of the group. I'm not going to tell you how much older, but I am. And so I wanted today's topic to be something that was kind of near and dear to my heart. Speaking of hearts, and we'll get to some stats, but it is the art, the art of aging gracefully. Sometimes we do it with not so much grace like that particular moment, but it's okay. So as you know, a lot of our topics, we try to present some stats. We try to present some information based on our own experiences, experience of other friends and everything. But a lot of it is just really off the cuff discussion. And so we're going to get started. And the first thing that I want to start off with is just the double standard of aging gracefully.
Oh, you're going there.
Cheers to that. I'm going. Cheers to that. And society and its twisted concepts sometimes. Oh, twist concepts. That was Trevor. Anyway, so
Twisted.
So
Simply
Twisted. Yes, there we go. Another plug. So I'm sure all of you know who George Clooney is, or Patrick Dempsey, if you watch Grey's Anatomy, and he was McDreamy. And
he was.
Yes, he was, and
Wasn't
still
that show
is.
out in the 90s?
He's
It seems like it was a while back.
I'm just saying it was like a really long. Okay, go ahead. I digress.
It wasn't that long ago.
I think it was still in the 2000s, not in the 90s.
You can still stream it. Anyway, sorry, they digress terribly. Anyway,
Is that old age?
he is.
What
he
were we
is.
talking about?
I like to call him McDreamier or McDreamy still. what's so funny is that before we got here today, I had to do a little pit stop at the Style Lab in Lake Jackson. Shout out to my friend Rachel, thank goodness, because she got rid of my gray roots today. They don't only do hair, they do a little bit of wellness. They do a little bit of Botox and some facials and all that kind of stuff. So if you're in Lake Jackson, check them out. They're awesome. But here I paid this money to go get my gray covered up. And when men go gray, they're distinguished. What the hell is that about?
I don't know, but
It's
my
not
husband
fair.
looks good with his salt and pepper.
She got your husband. Yeah, my husband's bald, but he's completely gray in his beard, and he's 2 years younger than me, but everyone thinks he's older than me, but they think that he is looking good. And I'm like,
I think bald and gray is sexy. I think there's a lot to, it's a distinguished maturity that men have. But when, it's like for men, women like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's so funny. I was at the courthouse last week. I had to take care of something, and
What you doing at the courthouse?
And that's exactly what I was thinking while I was there. And Kelly and I were at the courthouse.
We didn't have to bail you out, so it was good.
No. It was something that I had to take care of. And so I can remember when I went with her to take care of something that she had to deal with a while back, the judge that was presiding over the hearing or whatever it's called, I was like, wow.
We went through a probate.
Yes. And so I was like, wow, he's handsome. I mean, of course, nothing against my husband. I was just making a statement. He was handsome. And then I went back all these years later and ended up in front of this very same judge, and he's grayed quite a bit. And I text Kelly, I was like, still handsome, a little more distinguished. You know? And if a woman goes completely gray, oftentimes, because I even talked to my hairdresser, y'all, I used to be a brunette many, many, many years ago. I've flirted with blonde off and on since since junior high. But she was like, I was like, what about that gray scaling or whatever the thing is called that you do, gray shading? There's some topic or whatever it's called, terminology. And she's like, Mindy, you wouldn't like it. It's going to age you. And women who think they want that, and yes, it's easier, but in what you do and being in front of people, I just know your personality, you'll be very disappointed in that. And so I personally relate to that double standard. And
well, it's almost like men are allowed, or it's okay for them to age and look older or turn gray without any explanation. And if we do it, it's all of a sudden, it's like we fight it every day. I mean, whether it's coloring our hair, whether it's Botox, whether it's fillers, whether it's, sunless tanners, because we all look better with the tan.
tan fat's better than white fat any day.
Yeah, but it's just so bad for you.
No, I think so. I think there's something to that. Men are wired differently than women. Women are wired for security and safety. They're wired for something that is a caregiver, someone that's going to take care of them in that sense. And when you see the more mature, distinguished people with the gray hair, the aging, they look like they're going to be caregivers. They're going to be able to take care of. And men are wired. They're very visual. They want to see pleasing things. They want to see things that make them feel good, or, they want to have that. So it's just a whole completely different wiring. So that's why women try and keep up, even though guys say that they don't like it. But what was initial attraction? What brought you to that person? How did, let's be real. It is one of those things. They do want to see women putting effort into their looks and how they take care of themselves and how they dress. I mean, it is what it is. We're all wired differently, men and women.
And I'm sorry, forgive me, because I know there are some men out there listening, and stay tuned, because we are going to hit on some things that are going to resonate with you guys. But I just don't like the fact that it's so much more accepting. Women are so much more accepting of the dad bod, but women can't have the mom bod.
So to play off of that, are we creating our own nightmares? Are we creating this on our own? Yes, I get it that, there's this acceptance in society, or the way society looks at it. But if we say, no, I just want to be me and who I am and not worry about those things, if we were more comfortable in our own skin, I feel like it could also be different.
It could be in that sense, but society, I think depends on your circle of friends. Ladies, check your friends. Like, if your friends are going to put you down because you didn't do something, or because you're changing the way you're approaching your appearance or other things, then you may need to reevaluate your friends. But I think sometimes women are the hardest critics of each other. And sometimes it's a, hey girl, I'm just going to let you know, your brows are looking a little bushy or so, like we'll tell you, but sometimes there's women that are catty and they are, just real judgmental. We don't care if like how each other looks in the sense, we just want you to put your best foot forward, right?
Right.
So if you think my hair looks tacky for the day, you're going to be like, Natalie, do something. You got this spike or things aren't looking the best.
Right.
And if you say, if you own it, you're like, no, I did it purposely. It's like, oh, okay. And then that whole paradigm shifts.
Yeah.
But real quick, I want to give an example that literally just happened today. And it's not about aging gracefully, but it's about what you said about thinking about your friends and the circle and the people that you run around with. I received a business email today that was a reply all. For the record, I don't like reply all emails. I think that you waste a lot of time with reply all emails. I think there is a time and a place for reply all emails to keep everybody on the same page. But there are certain things you shouldn't just reply all to.
Tangent tax.
No, it was a good point too, but okay.
Still, you're getting to it eventually.
So this reply all email happened, and the person that replied all happened to include accidentally their prompt to whatever AI source that they were using. And they copied and pasted in a very quick moment. This is a very busy individual, and I saw it come through, and I didn't see it come through until later. And I had this whole moment of, oh my gosh, do I say something to this individual? And I thought for a second, I would want to know. So, of course, I didn't reply all to the email. I didn't even put it on email because I did not want a business exchange happening with this. I text her or this person, and I said, hey, not sure if you know, but if you don't, I would want to know. You happen to have your prompt in front of that. I know you're super busy. I'm sending hugs your way. Take a deep breath and slow down. And so catty and judgmental and those things, people could be snickering behind the backs of this person. I hit it head on. I was like, hey, I don't know if you know this yet, but that's the type of people that I want in my life.
I want people
to
tell me,
it was a tangent, but I felt
like
I
have a booger in my
sense.
nose. I have broccoli in my teeth. My fly is down. Toilet paper on my shoe. My dress is tucked in the back. Whatever. Tell me. I'd rather you tell me than me walk down the street with my toilet paper on my shoe.
Yeah, I think we all try to really push for the attitude of we lift each other up.
Yeah.
And sometimes giving someone some constructive criticism or bringing a cold hard fact to the top of the list is not being critical. It's being helpful.
Yeah.
Because you're right. Heaven forbid if whoever this person was sent out a very confidential email because they got in a hurry, and it really could have backlashed and hurt them. We all know what's been going on with the old Kiss Cam, and that CEO had to resign, and what a hot mess that was.
Did he resign?
He did.
Oh, yeah.
He resigned.
Oh.
And it something like that. I mean, of course, it's on a very different scale, of course, but it really destroyed a lot of people, his career, his family, and just anyway. Tangent tax. There's
a whole episode on lessons learned there.
Mm-hmm. But what is so funny is and forgive me if I get a little personal on some of this stuff. With me being about 9 years older than these two, I've gone through I've gone through menopause. I'll just put it right out there. I've gone through menopause. So my issues are sometimes the hot flashes, the night sweats. I don't sleep very well. And basically, pardon my language, I've been told sometimes I can be just a bitch. And that sometimes comes very easy. Personally, I like the term bitch because remember we talked about it's being in total control of herself, but I really don't think that's what they were referring to.
Is that how you spin it?
That's how I spin it. Yeah. And it was that I'm not a bitch. It was I was acting like a bitch. And I found myself very irritable, or one minute I'm mad or happy, and the next minute I'm crying over the Hallmark commercial or the SPCA commercial, which everyone cries over that. But for the longest time, I really just avoided trying to hit it head on until I realized that I was kind of compromising some of my relationships because I was not very pleasant to be around. So one of the things that we deal with aging is, like we said, it's not so much just going through the process of coloring your hair or, working out or going to the gym or those types of things. It's just internally making yourself feel better. So part of it goes into that is like hormone replacement. So tomorrow I am actually going to my nurse practitioner, Brandy, who has homegrown healthcare in Lake Jackson, and she is going to inject me with the pellets. those are a huge thing these days. I've done them once before, and I really feel like they did some good for me, because now that they're kind of wearing out of my body, I was told I was mean the other day, so apparently it's time for me to go back. So sometimes it's really, really difficult to wake up one day and look at yourself in the mirror and realize that that 25-year-old is no longer staring back at you. I'm almost 60, and sometimes I like what I see, and sometimes I don't like what I see, and it really fluctuates. But it's really comes down to the type of life that I want to live. Do I want to be, alienating my friends or something, or just not being very pleasant to be around? And so if that means I have to do the hormone replacement, or whether it's just either orally or, pellets or whatever, then, I'm for it. I'm for it. I personally feel like that it's made a difference with me. And if it makes a difference with my relationships, then I'm all for it. And for the men that are out there listening, if you have wives or girlfriends who suddenly are not very pleasant, who don't like sex very much — I didn't say that very loud because we have people walking by — there's a lot of things that go on with a woman's body that when she ages. You get changes in your bone density. You're at a higher risk for fractures if you fall. Cardiac issues, cardiac disease, heart disease. It is the #1 killer. And I've got some stats, so I have my pieces of paper in front of me. And keep in mind, I'm a doctor of physical therapy. I'm not a medical doctor, so the information has been researched. But if any of this resonates with you guys, please contact your regular doctor for further information, not Dr. Google. But, cardiac disease in women over 50 and 50-ish, it's the #1 killer.
Because their symptoms are so different also than men. And the men's are typically you hear so much about the symptoms that a man has versus the symptoms that a woman has.
Right.
And because they are so different, you don't always recognize it.
Right.
It's scary.
It's very scary because, and a lot of people think, well, I work out every day, I eat good and everything. Surely these symptoms I'm having cannot be a heart attack. I've lost 4 friends this past year who were a year or so older than me to heart attacks.
My dad died too young of a heart attack.
Yeah.
Way too young.
Yeah. That gives me, it's 98 degrees outside and I've got chills because it's so real. And it suddenly makes you wake up and think, damn, I better pay attention.
Pay attention, but also my first question is when younger people, because I still think people in their 50s are still young, when they have
Indeed,
a heart attack.
They are.
My question is vaccine status. So I know that's going to put me on a radar for some people. And I believe in Dr. Google and PubMed because you can find out a lot. And then you can get some information there that's important, but also seek help when you need it. Like women will suffer because they're busy with family, they're busy with life, they're busy in their careers. I may not have issues, but it's not just me, it's you. You piss me off. Yeah, get help.
Absolutely.
Hormone replacement therapy is not a bad thing for aging. It can give you a lot of vitality. It can bring your life back. And I think there's one of those commercials when we talk, and I have no problem talking about sex, but if you're having issues and you're not having that desire and you have to, there's the commercial that says, if I have to get drunk to have sex with my husband, that's not how I want to be and who I want to be. So there's a lot of things of women. You need to be in tune with your body and and men too. Men, you guys are the worst. We're not even going to go down that pipeline if you aren't taking care of yourself and doing what you need to do. Get to the doctor and get
a real thing.
Get that hormone
Yeah.
replacement, Aging Gracefully for anybody. Men's Tea, the testosterone, the Her Clinic. There's all these different things that are available out there now. I don't like pellets. I personally do the injections for testosterone, but the difference in how you feel and the vitality and the life that you live is completely different than that blasé. It's living a different kind of life and way.
Blasé, that, and that is probably one of the other main reasons that I started realizing that something was going on with me. My hot flashes were not that bad. I've seen women sit there and just be drenched with sweat. Now, there's times that I can be sitting there and I'm like, oh my gosh, turn the air on. Oh my gosh, turn it off.
I'm drenched with sweat right now, but it's not because of
the same thing.
But when you're sitting in the sun, it's a little different.
But it's the issues where, and God darn it. See, that's part of getting old. I just lost my freaking train of thought.
Well, clarity, mental clarity. You got to.
That's part of it.
So that is part of it.
Yeah.
Let's be, if your brain starts faltering and I can remember life stories, but I can't remember your name to save my life. Mindy's got your name. She's got everything. And she's like, hey, how are you? How's the kids? I'm like, Mindy, how's your kid again? Like, which? Yeah,
Yeah.
the one that's off at college.
I'm always that, hey girl, how's it going? Can't remember your name. Y'all, last week I forgot our website. And I froze. I was like, take it away.
We got you.
So, but part of it is just, as women, we also take on so much.
Yeah.
And sometimes, we just overload ourselves with work and responsibilities on kids and whatever else. But sometimes we just overload ourselves and we just can't freaking keep up sometimes. And that's, that's part of it. But, I know I'm going to remember what I was trying to say a second ago, and it just went.
You'll remember it when you lay your head on your pillow at night and you will wake up. That's what I was going to say.
It was good. It was really good, y'all. I promise.
We believe you.
I will promise. But the thing to remember though is that you do you.
Yes.
You do what makes you happy. If you're not into the pellets, then I've resisted the pellets for so long, but I have a really bad time of remembering to take my freaking medicine at night. So I'm like, chances are I probably ought to do something that
What kind of medicine?
just whatever, vitamins or whatever. That's what it was. That's what it was. See, it comes in waves. It was the Blase. Anyone that's known me knows that I drive my husband crazy because he says, oh my God, you have so much energy. And I'm like, well, you freaking sleep all the time, but sometimes it takes me every bit of energy, mustering it up just to get out and go do something. And that is not me. And I don't like feeling blah. I want to be that person that when my feet hit the ground, the devil says, oh shit, she's up, and I used to be that way all the time. But now it's just, and I don't know if it's ADHD because with that comes procrastination. I don't know if it's just, I've been working for 35, 45 years of my life. I'm done. I'm tired. I don't want to do it anymore. Or is it hormonal? Is it whatever? I don't know. But I'm to the point now where I realize that I want to have good quality of life.
Yeah.
I think we all want quality of life. And you need to kind of pick and choose your own battles and how you want to fight those battles. And whether it's you're just going to tough it out or you're going to get the pellets or you're going to take medication or whatever. But just keep in mind that even though we're talking about the menopause and kind of the silly side of things, the anxiety that goes along with it, depression that goes along with it. Those are real things, and those are things that really need to be addressed.
So let's talk about addressing that for a minute. And I think it's important that we have this conversation because there are a lot of things that happen when it comes to thinking about what you can do and what you're not able to do when it comes to.
We just went live.
So when it comes to talking about anxiety and depression, that used to be something that was a faux pas that you would never, ever, ever do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And thank goodness we're in a
taboo.
society. Yes. Taboo. We're in a society now that it's okay to talk about that. Mental health is something that it's okay to talk about. Having a mom that dealt with so many mental health disorders, I never talked about it. I just started talking about it on a stage, talking about it here. Those were things that I was always very afraid to talk about. And so if things have changed. We're talking about aging, but you think about postpartum. That was always just such a scary, scary thing. And it's a real thing. If somebody is right now, man or woman, hormones changing, it does change you. And we are in such a great place today to be able to talk about it, to reach out to somebody, to reach out to your friend, to reach out for help, she said, don't Dr. Google it, but Google different places, go on Reddit, look for different places that you can find as a resource for somebody that you want to talk to, a psychologist that you're just going to talk to, a psychiatrist that's going to have medicine, but whatever medicine they're going to prescribe you, thinking about these pellets, thinking about the things that Natalie likes to do, and being able to go on and say, how has this impacted you, and doing your own homework. So when you do go talk to that doctor, you're not saying, hey, I know all of this. I always joke around with my doctor. I'm like, hey, I went on Dr. Google. I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV. Y'all have heard me say that. But this is what I understand. This is what I know. Help me fill in the blanks so I can make the best decision for myself. Whereas before you might have been in a position where they're like, take these hormones, do this, and then it's completely not what you want to do. It is okay not to be okay, and it is okay to ask questions. And I think that's super important.
I think that's, and let me clarify. I live on search engines.
Oh, no, you already
And-
said no
and-
Dr. Google. So
well,
we're calling you.
I don't want Dr. Google to diagnose you. I don't want you to say, oh, well,
There's a time to step
this is
in
what
and
I've
Google.
got.
Yeah.
If you want to search your symptoms, sure, Google it.
It might
But
scare you.
it might
'cause
scare
can be
you,
so
and-
much easier.
Right.
But yeah.
But I also don't want you to think, oh, it's nothing. And then it really is something,
Yes.
because Dr. Google is not the end all be all. So what I'm saying is, if you want to go on Safari or Dr. Google or whatever, go ahead and do that. But then once you see what the potential problem could be, then go follow up with the medical authority. Whether it's a mental health screening, when at one point, the very first time I tried the pellets, it was because I was sitting there and I would cry. But it was only a year and a half after I had lost my husband.
Yeah.
So I didn't know, and I was going through menopause. So I was like, am I going through menopause, or am I just grieving, or am I just losing my mind?
Mm-hmm.
Because life was just such a whirlwind at that point. And I did the pellets and I freaking hated it. And I said,
remember.
oh my gosh, never again. But I finally went and got some help and said, yep, this is what I need to do. This is you're a widow now. And so, you're a widow now, and you have to learn how to navigate that new life. And so I took a different approach, and it helped. But here I am a few years later, and I'm back at the more physiological type things, and not so much the emotional and mental aspect of it. So I feel a lot more comfortable with the pellets this go around. I think I'm being more realistic as to what they're going to do for me.
So we're going to have a follow-up episode.
So we're definitely going to have a follow-up. and at some point I'd like my, hopefully maybe in the future, my nurse practitioner to come on as a guest. And her whole background is on just natural remedies, hormone replacement, and those types of things. And so she can give a little bit of insight. And again, like Natalie said, there's always tons of options. But, that's one thing about us. We have 3 very different personalities here, but we all like to bring you as much on the table as possible.
Well, I will say there's holistic. If you're younger and you're not quite at that point, there's a lot of different options, just food and nutrition and things that you can do, minerals that you can take to help offset. So get into that aspect and learn that possibility. One thing you said, Mindy, is you said, just you do you and you be you. I want to make an exception to that. If you have a spouse that's begging for you to go and get help, or that's begging for you to step up for yourself and stand up for yourself and do something, listen, because they really have the best interest at heart, and they want you to do better and be healthy. And sometimes we're too busy living and muddling through life that we don't even realize what a funk we're in. So when your spouse is coming to you and saying, hey, you might want to do this, you really need to look at this, please do. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. Take care of yourself, especially if you have somebody loving on the other side that's begging you, male, female, I don't care. Your health is a priority. And if you don't make that a priority, everything else goes by the wayside. And then you end up dead with a heart attack or some other element that you can't.
Well, and that goes back to the stigma. The stigma is no longer there, right? Because, and I can't speak
but you have
for everybody.
People.
But you have stubborn people, and then you have those that get in their head. And we're going to have some episodes in the future about this. That it's like, what are others going to think? Does this mean that I'm weak? And can we talk about this? And that's something we didn't talk about whenever I was growing up. And it's that stigma, going back to that word, is around it. And it's just not there anymore.
Yeah.
And so you can let that guard down. And you mentioned earlier, Natalie, choosing your friends, making sure the people you're surrounding yourself with. So if there is somebody that is not being supportive for the needs that you have, you may just want to reevaluate your circle of friends.
Yeah. And, and if feeling better about yourself means what you see in the mirror, there are people, let's face it, and this is a whole nother podcast, but there are people that spend thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars on, cosmetics and, different procedures and everything. And that's okay. That's okay. But, for those of us who don't make $1 million every year, and sometimes we have to live on a budget, there are some very great products out there. Mindy is the best bargain hunter out there, and she's got beautiful skin and everything. And I'm like, so what are you using? And some people don't use all these expensive skin lines and everything. I mean, it's just skincare lines. I mean, it's amazing what you can do. But whatever it is, I guess what I'm getting to is whatever it is that makes you feel better, commit yourself to that. I mean, you're the only you've got. Yeah. We've got one shot at life. You know, I lost my husband early. She lost her father early. She lost her father early. We've all dealt with that at our ages, unfortunately. And think about how many people love you and care about you and you want to be around, but you want to be appreciated and pleasant when you're around too. So let's face it. You know, for me personally, it scares me when I see people around me that are my age that are just dropping like flies. It scares the crap out of me because then I realize sometimes, am I really doing everything I need to be doing to take care of myself? And yeah, no, I'm not. I mean, I look at my age and I look at some friends of mine that are also my age and who took care of their skin and used sunscreen. Oh no, not me. And I'm paying for it now. And so it's never too early to start. I beg my daughter and my friends that are younger to please take care of themselves. So I guess on that note, it's more or less just to take the seriousness of what we're saying with true commitment, but yet put yourself first sometimes. Listen when your friends tell you or your spouses tell you, and also spouses, if you see that person and all of a sudden they're not as nice or that's not the same woman I married or the same, person that I had.
I hope nobody is the same person you married.
Yeah.
If you're not growing, you're dying.
Right. But if it's because of something that they don't have any control over, then be there with them, go through it with them, and hopefully everyone will get back on a very nice, happy, even keel, and we'll all live happily ever after. If that, was the thing. But
I think a message is take care of you so you can take care of everybody else.
Right.
Because if you don't take care of you, you're no good to anyone else either.
Yeah.
So, you're always going to be your number one. And that might sound vain, that might sound selfish, but it's really not, because when you make yourself number one, you're taking care of yourself, you're trying to do the best you can when it comes to exercise, when it comes to eating, when it comes to the things that you put in your brain. You're not watching terrible shows that put you in a bad mood and you even it out, or whatever the case is.
Murder
If you
mystery.
can take, I just finished Animal Kingdom. That one did a whopper on me. So I had to.
I'm on that one right now.
So I had to start. I'm back to my let them. So that's great. And
I'm ready for Ted Lasso to come back.
Yeah, it's coming back. But in all seriousness, take care of yourself so you can take care of others. And what's so funny is the impact on the aging gracefully and just the way you feel when you have something that's right, when it's lining up, when you feel good about who you are, what you're doing. It is amazing. You find that kindred spirit again with that youthful you that used to be there, and you forget sometimes how old you are or not. And then there could be a young person that's listening to this right now and they're like, I just want to get older. Trust me, you don't. But I get it. I was that person too. But always trying to put yourself to these different standards, that's really, really, really hard. Just be happy internally with who you are. I know that sounds soft, that sounds fluffy,
Sounds like
but
motivating
oh
Mindy.
my gosh, when you are,
Sometimes
And
we
you
need
do
the
get
fluff.
that.
Sometimes we need the fluff because I'm
but it's real.
I've got the medical background, and again, like I said, I'm not a medical doctor, but in looking at the fluff is nice, and sometimes when you get hit with reality of what life does to our bodies and to our health and everything, it's like getting hit over the head with a brick. I mean, I'm just going to go over some of these stats just real quick. So according to the CDC in 2023, heart disease, like I said earlier, is the number one cause of death in women in the U.S., not breast cancer. It kills 1 in every 5 women. That is crap. That is crap. And we all know that there are some of those, predetermined risk factors. But then there are those that we have absolute 100% control over. Our diet, how we take care of ourselves, what we
How
eat.
stressed we
how
allow
stressed-
ourselves to
yes,
be
all
all
that
the
kind of
time. We're
stuff.
going to be talking about that in a later episode.
Yes. And with menopause and aging, changes in hormones and everything, that increases your cholesterol level. That increases your risk for heart disease. A lot of people the other day, my doctor asked me if I was on any cholesterol medicine. I was like, no. She goes, okay, we're going to draw your blood and check for that. I'm like, damn it. Okay. So, here we go.
To be continued.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you whether I am or not. There's just a lot of things. Listen to your body. Listen to what it's telling you. And sometimes just because, you look great, you run 20 miles a week and everything, sometimes what's going on internally can be a whole different story.
I'll never forget the oh my gosh, what is his name? You had Julian Michaels, and then you had the other guy that was on The Biggest Loser.
Yeah.
The guy that worked out all the time.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry that I've forgotten your name.
Yeah.
He had
a heart attack. Yeah.
You would think he would be the last person
Yeah.
to have a heart attack. So there's a lot of things to pay attention to.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, I guess to wrap it up or to recap everything, it's just like we said, pay attention to your body. Surround yourself with friends who are going to be honest with you. Take care of yourself as far as your mental, your emotional, your psychological. It all is encompassed into one big, giant, wonderful you. And we all want to be tied up in a nice, neat red bow. If you want to get the Botox, if you want to get the gray, because I'm going to get the gray, I'm going to get the Botox. I'm going to do whatever brings me joy and happiness and makes me look good if I can. But it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. So like they said, you do you. And hopefully we have, opened up a new reality for some people to kind of pay attention to what's going on with their life and not ignore things. Try to ignore the big bus behind us, the tour bus that just drove by. If you're not watching us and you can hear all these things going on outside of us, we are live again, like we said, on Galveston Island. But we would love to have you guys, check us out at our website. I'm not going to forget this time, sugarspiceandspirits.com. Subscribe to our pages. Come listen to us more. If you want to know what our sip of the day recipes are, just, stick around, because hopefully we're going to bring some very enlightening topics to the table and make you laugh, make you think, just make you feel good.
Yeah. Follow us on social. You can also spill the tea on our website at sugarspiceandspirits.com. We'd love to hear from you, any episodes that you have. And we just want to say thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you get the podcast. We'll be there anywhere that you guys get that. So thanks for listening, guys.
Yep. And next time you're in Galveston, check out Simply Twisted. They're really awesome.
Yes, they are. Hey, everybody.
Sugar, Spice, and Spirits is for informational and entertainment purposes only. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed are solely those of the host and guests and do not represent those of any affiliated organizations. The content provided is not intended to be a substitute for professional advice, whether legal, financial, medical, or otherwise. Always seek the advice of qualified professionals regarding any questions that you may have. While we aim to keep information accurate and up to date, we make no guarantees of completeness, reliability, or accuracy. Any action you take based on the information presented is strictly at your own risk. Cheers to mixing a little fun and some friendly advice. But remember, sip responsibly and always do your own homework.